The dentist looked at my daughter's x-ray and said, "I need to ask you something in private." He closed the door and asked where we adopted her from. We didn't adopt her. I stared at him completely confused while my 6-year-old daughter Bria sat in the waiting room coloring pictures of unicorns. I told him Bria was absolutely my biological child, and I had the stretch marks and 18 hours of labor to prove it. His face went pale and he asked if I was certain. I laughed because what kind of question was that? He turned the x-ray screen toward me and pointed at something I did not understand. He explained that Bria had a specific bone structure anomaly that was genetic and extremely rare. It only appeared in certain ethnic populations from a small region in Eastern Europe. My husband and I were both from families that had been in America for 5 generations, with ancestry from Western Europe and West Africa. There was no possible way our biological child could have this marker. I told him he must be mistaken, or maybe the x-rays got switched with another patient. He showed me her name clearly labeled on the image. He said he had seen this anomaly exactly twice in 30 years of practice, both times in children adopted from the same orphanage overseas. I drove home in a daze with Bria chattering happily about her clean teeth in the backseat. That night after she went to bed, I pulled out her birth certificate and the photos from the hospital. There she was, red and wrinkled, being placed on my chest moments after delivery. I was there. My husband was there. The doctors and nurses were there. She came out of my body. I called my mother and asked if there was any chance I was adopted. She sounded offended and said absolutely not, and reminded me she had the home videos of my birth to prove it. I could not sleep for 3 days. Finally, I ordered a DNA test kit and swabbed both myself and Bria while telling her it was for a fun science project. The results came back 2 weeks later and destroyed everything I thought I knew. Bria was not biologically related to me. There was 0 shared DNA. I took the results to my husband and watched his face crumble. He demanded we do another test, thinking there must be contamination. The second test confirmed it, then the third. Our daughter was not our daughter. We hired a lawyer who specialized in hospital negligence cases. She started investigating the hospital where I gave birth and discovered something horrifying. A nurse who worked in the maternity ward during that time had been fired 3 years later for suspicious behavior. There were rumors she had been involved in some kind of illegal adoption scheme, but nothing was ever proven. The hospital had buried the investigation to avoid liability. Our lawyer found 4 other families who gave birth at that hospital during the same period with the same nurse on duty. 3 of them agreed to DNA testing. 2 of those families discovered their children were also not biologically theirs. Someone had been switching babies. My biological daughter was out there somewhere being raised by strangers who thought she was theirs. And the child I had loved and raised for 6 years belonged to another family entirely. I cannot describe what that knowledge did to me. Bria was my daughter in every way that mattered. I had held her through fevers and nightmares and first days of school. The thought of losing her made me physically ill. But somewhere another mother was raising my biological child without knowing the truth. The lawsuit revealed that the nurse had been running a private adoption operation for wealthy couples who wanted babies quickly without paperwork. She would switch healthy newborns with babies from mothers she deemed unfit or undeserving. My baby had been given to a couple who paid $50,000 for a healthy infant. The nurse died of cancer before she could face charges. The hospital settled